Admit it, you've held a grudge towards someone before. It may have been for something petty, like someone cut you off in traffic, but more likely it was something serious, like a former partner who treated you poorly or a family member who scorned you for your identity or beliefs. Maybe you've even held a grudge against yourself for past mistakes or for moments when you didn't live up to your own perfectionist expectations. Grudges and anger like this leaves you feeling bitter, vindictive, and maybe even with a thirst for revenge. You want them to know how badly they've hurt you. Part of you wants them to experience the cosmic punishment for their actions, and at the same time, you want to forgive them. You want to be free of this anger, and you want to be a good, forgiving person. Now call to mind a time when you experienced mercy. Maybe a friend was patient with you on a bad day. The stranger who gave up their seat so you could sit with your family. Your partner who forgave you for a selfish moment. Unlike your grudges, these moments of mercy leave you feeling warm and loved, like the universe is a friendly place. Experiencing anger and wanting mercy are both facets of our human experience. But how do you reconcile these seemingly different emotions? Is it possible to hold yourself and others accountable while also pursuing a path of mercy? Can you show a softness towards those people who have hurt you without being a people pleaser or a pushover? These are heavy questions at the heart of the fifth Beatitude. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall be shown mercy. Holding space for both justice and mercy is difficult, but in this episode, you'll have a roadmap for how to achieve this delicate balance. I'm Nina Hirlaender, Franciscan sister, spiritual director, and founder of Dancing Spirit Tours. It wasn't that long ago that I lacked the self-awareness and inner freedom to grow my relationship with the divine. Fast forward past a lot of lessons learned, I now have a spirituality that gives me more joy, meaning, and connection than I ever thought possible. I created the Holy Rebels podcast to give you simple, actionable strategies to help you trust your gut, develop your intuition, and stay grounded when life gets hard. If you're a spiritual seeker or a mystic in the making, you're in the right place, my friend. Let's get started. Welcome back to the Holy Rebels podcast. I'm so happy you're here, and I'm grateful for your enthusiastic reviews you've been leaving. This one is from Shobha from the United States. She says, "Love this podcast. It's fresh, nuanced, and allows you to see humanity with whole new eyes. It leaves you feeling much more zest for life and a sense that your problem of the moment is actually a gateway to deeper connection to the divine." Thank you, Shobha. That means a lot. I read every single review that's left, and it really does help Holy Rebels podcast grow. So thank you to those of you who are taking a moment out of your day to write me a 5-star review. I really appreciate it. We're exploring a series about the Beatitudes, 8 keys to happiness. Each Beatitude is an invitation to connect personally with the divine and experience more joy, purpose, and fulfillment in your life. This is a 9-part series, and I recommend you listen to them in order. The introduction to the Beatitudes is episode number 8. You can scroll back and find it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to this show. The Beatitudes are the very heart of spirituality. They are the manifesto of Christianity, but they're more than that. Of course, they're Christian because they're the 8 wisdom sayings of Jesus, but they're so universal, they're bigger than religion. They have nothing to do with doctrine or the church, so if you're listening to this and you're not a Christian, don't worry. These are absolutely applicable to you. The Beatitudes are 8 paradoxical keys to happiness, the pinnacle of what it means to live a good life. They're a lifestyle of happiness, joy, peace, and love. And today we're discussing the 5th Beatitude. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. I love this one because it's quintessentially human. It speaks to our innate desire for fairness and justice, but it also challenges us to rise above our natural tendencies towards judgment. Mercy is often associated with forgiveness, but it's more than that. Mercy is an act of kindness and compassion towards those who may not deserve it. It's a willingness to see the humanity in others even when they've hurt us. In our society, we often glorify revenge and holding grudges. We see mercy as a weakness, letting someone get away with something. But in reality, mercy is one of the greatest acts of courage and strength a person can show. It takes a strong person to forgive and extend kindness to those who have wronged them. But I'm not going to give you a moral lecture about forgiveness today because you already know these things. I want to talk to you about the deeper mystical teaching of mercy because this has the power to truly transform your life if you understand and implement it. What does it mean to be merciful? This is hard because we have a double standard with mercy. On one hand, when we make a mistake, we want forgiveness. We want understanding, empathy, for someone to see that we had good intentions. And even if we didn't have the best intentions, even if we were careless, we want that other person to see that actually we're a decent, kind, loving person in general. We just made a mistake. Cut me some slack, right? We love to receive mercy, but when someone else makes a mistake, particularly one that affects us, all hell breaks loose. We're ready to take these people to the guillotine. It sounds really funny and extreme to say, but in a sense, it's true, isn't it? We want that person to get what they deserve, right? We have a double standard. We want forgiveness for our mistakes, but we're often stingy when someone else hurts us. We don't easily show ourselves forgiveness either. What would happen if you extended the same kindness towards yourself that you often reserve for your best friend? How might your life be different if you allowed yourself to make mistakes without punishing yourself? Mercy requires humility. Humility can be a paradoxical concept. It doesn't always imply an excess of ego. In fact, it can be quite the opposite. A lack of humility can manifest as being overly critical of yourself, or feeling a deep sense of shame, or not feeling good enough, or being absorbed in your mistakes. C.S. Lewis says, humility isn't thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. If you find yourself being excessively harsh on yourself, you're denying yourself mercy and, quite frankly, being a little self-centered. Remember, perfection is an illusion, so be kind to you and allow yourself to be a human. Have mercy on yourself. This beatitude is saying, if you hold on to the wrongs that have been done to you, you can't receive the grace that God is trying to give you. This is mystical logic. It means if you're holding on to a grudge, if you feel resentful on some level, then you cannot receive the goodness that the universe is trying to give to you right now. Your bitterness is like a dam, holding back the river of love God is pouring into your life right now. The mystical law of the fifth Beatitude says you cannot hold on to pain and accept love at the same time. It's impossible. You cannot hold on to unforgiveness and accept forgiveness. That's not how divine justice works. The principle of reciprocal justice, an eye for an eye, measure for measure, that's not cosmic law. If you're stingy with forgiveness towards other people, it's like you're blocking the flow of divine mercy towards yourself. I know it's really, really hard, but when you extend mercy towards people who don't deserve it, you too can open yourself up to receiving mercy for what you've done, the mistakes you've made. Happiness belongs to those not who give what others deserve. Happiness belongs to those who give others what they need. Forgiveness. The divine justice of the universe is mercy. The logic of God says, I know you messed up, but I'm not going to treat you according to what you deserve. Instead, I will show you unconditional love. Neil Douglas Klotz beautifully translates this beatitude from Aramaic. He says, "Blessed are those who from their inner wombs birth mercy. They shall feel its warm arms embrace them." Have you ever felt the warm embrace of divine mercy around you? Have you ever experienced a moment in your life where you felt incredibly fortunate, lucky, blessed, even though you don't believe you deserve such an outcome? Like somehow the universe smiled upon you and bestowed you with something that even though you don't deserve it, you desperately needed it deep down. This is the experience of divine mercy. It's like basking in the warm golden sunlight of the morning sun after a cold, dark night. It's a joy that is pure and radiant. It touches every fiber of your being and illuminates the dark corners of your heart. You feel like you're being cherished and held. It's a feeling that makes your heart swell with gratitude and your eyes well up with tears of joy. You know that you're valued and that you matter despite your mistakes, despite your past. There's a reassuring presence, a feeling that you're not alone. Divine mercy is like a sudden burst of hope. No matter how far you've strayed, no matter how lost you might feel, it's like a light leading you back home, filled with forgiveness and love. It's a kind of euphoria, like a bliss. And you know what? This experience of mercy is your birthright. All you need to do is say yes, and it's here. If you can just say yes to receiving the goodness that's trying to give itself to you, then you understand the meaning of true happiness. The contemporary mystic Cynthia Bourgeault articulates it in this way. She says, "Hope's home is at the inmost point in us and in all things. It's a quality of aliveness. It doesn't come at the end as a feeling that results from a happy outcome. Rather, it lies at the beginning. When our innermost being is attuned to this pulse, it will send us forth in hope, regardless of the physical circumstances of our lives. Hope fills us with the strength to stay present, to abide in the flow of mercy no matter what outer storms assail us. It is entered always and only through surrender. That is, through the willingness to let go of everything we're presently clinging to. And yet, when we enter it, it enters us and fills us with its own life. A quiet strength beyond anything we've ever known. Isn't it beautiful to think about? Mercy with a life of its own, endlessly flowing from one heart to another without expecting anything in return. It's a force that moves us to act, to reach out, to offer comfort and care. As we extend mercy to others, we also invite it into our own lives, discovering a depth of compassion within ourselves that we didn't know existed. The act of giving mercy is in itself an act of receiving. When mercy flows through us, we realize that we're all connected, and in this realization, we find a sense of joy. Mercy does not just exist, it lives, it breathes, it grows within us and among us. An inspired, selfless act, one that's driven by genuine empathy and compassion, is about extending a hand to those who are suffering, not out of pity or obligation, but out of a sincere desire to alleviate pain. When you show that kind of mercy, you forget yourself. You don't expect anything else in return. When you extend compassion to others, you will find that your own prayers are answered. Not because the universe is rewarding you for good behavior. There's no cosmic being judging your behavior as good or bad by human moral standards. In order to be merciful towards another person, you must be attuned to the source of mercy itself, because mercy requires that you step out of yourself. Mercy is selfless. It's about surrendering your self-centered perspectives and understanding the world from the viewpoint of the person in front of you. And that's not easy. It requires you to connect with your own vulnerability, your own experiences of pain and suffering, and use that understanding to connect with others. That kind of love can change the world. There's a Greek to English translation of this beatitude that I just love. It goes like this: "Happy are those moved to help someone in need. They will experience and be shown the comfort they give." The beauty of the Beatitudes isn't exclusive to Christianity. This concept of mercy can be found in many different religions and philosophies. In Buddhism, it's embodied in the practice of loving kindness. One of the things you may commonly hear is that justice must be tempered with mercy. But these two aren't aspects that we need to keep in balance, because mercy is the divine justice. Mercy is what causes things to grow. It's the sunlight that warms the earth and causes seeds to germinate and grow. Mercy is not a flimsy act of kindness. It's the fundamental aspect of cosmic justice. It is strong. Without mercy, justice becomes cold and unyielding, punishing rather than setting all things right. So mercy is the divine justice. Just think about this. If we all received strict justice for every mistake or transgression we've ever made, where would we be? Would any of us truly deserve to be happy or feel a sense of forgiveness? Probably not. But with mercy, there's always a way to restore the wrongs that have been done, because mercy makes redemption possible. It inspires integrity. It's not about dismissing harm, but about offering a path towards healing. The 20th century American mystic Thomas Merton talks about mercy in this way. He says, Mercy is a fierce, bonding love, like the bond between committed lovers. It's not about pity, but about passion. Mercy is fidelity. It is strength. It is ultimate and unfailing because it is the power that binds one person to another in a covenant of hearts. I love this so much. It exquisitely captures the nature of mercy. It challenges our perspective. Mercy isn't a moment of failure to be strong. It's a powerful expression of love. It's an expression of strength and courage. The ultimate example of mercy is Jesus of Nazareth. I want to look at this example with fresh eyes, solely through the lens of this beatitude. So we're not talking about dogma or belief here. So put aside any notion of religion for now, and let's just see what this man lived. Jesus was a fully human being. He experienced all the suffering that we experience, and yet he chose to live in a way that embodied divine mercy. He showed mercy towards homeless people, the sick, the misfits, those who society deemed unworthy or unclean. And Jesus also showed mercy towards people who hated him and mistreated him. There's a painting called the Eisenheim Altarpiece by Matthias Grünwald and Nicholas of Hagenau. It was painted in the late Middle Ages as an altarpiece for the monastery of St. Anthony, but it's now in a museum of France. I'm going to link it down in the description below so you can look at this altarpiece because I'm going to be speaking about it. It so perfectly encapsulates divine mercy. It's a larger-than-life tableau of the crucifixion. It's one of the most spiritually powerful and brutally realistic depictions of the crucifixion in Western art. If you're not Catholic, you're probably even less used to seeing intense suffering depicted in art, but it is worth looking at and describing in detail because I'm making a point here. So you can look this up in the show notes of the episode. I've included it below if you want to look at this piece as I'm describing it. In the painting, Jesus' mouth is open in speechless anguish. He has open wounds in his hands and his feet, blisters all over his body. There's nothing sentimental about this portrayal. The great mystic theologian Thomas Aquinas said, "If you want to be happy, despise what Jesus despised on the cross, and love what Jesus loved on the cross." Now that's a very confusing statement when you look at the crucified Jesus suffering. What does this mean? What did Jesus despise? Well, he resisted all the typical temporary sources of happiness, fame, fortune, pleasure, power. He has none of it. He's stripped naked. Pleasure? He's at the very limit of psychological and physical suffering. Power? He has none of that. He's nailed to a cross. He can't even move. Fame? Well, the mob was mocking him. He's being publicly displayed, crucified at the end of his life. Jesus is detached from the four things in which we typically seek our happiness: fame, fortune, pleasure, and power. And what did he love on the cross? The 8 keys to happiness, the Beatitudes. Jesus was single-hearted about God. He was poor in spirit, the one who mourns, the meek, the merciful. Jesus was the ultimate peacemaker, the ultimate bearer of divine mercy. And though it's very strange to say, though it's the supreme paradox, if Aquinas is right, it means that this painting, the Eisenheim altarpiece, is a picture of a happy man. I know, that sounds wild, but there's more. Look, on the right lower side of the painting, You see John the Baptist pointing at Jesus. John's arm is twisted, and that says to us that all our expectations have been turned around and twisted, and we can see that this painting is indeed a picture of freedom. This painting is a picture of joy. Instead of trying to fill the void with fame and fortune, pleasure and power, Jesus emptied his ego and became free. We try to fill the void, don't we? With things that we believe will make us happy, but it's only the emptying out of the ego that fills us with happiness. The Beatitudes are the formula for detachment. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. It means, blessed are you if you're not attached to material things, if your stuff isn't the center of your concern. If love is your ultimate concern, then not only will you not become addicted to materialism, but you'll use your material resources for good. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. It means how lucky you are if you're not addicted to pleasant sensations. Emotional and psychological happiness are fantastic when you have them, but they're finite. If your happiness relies on feeling good, you will be very unhappy indeed. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. This is about spiritual freedom. How fortunate you are if you don't rely on worldly power, if you're detached from needing to be right or having influence over other people. Then you can become a conduit of true divine power to this world. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. If the call to embrace spiritual poverty challenges our addiction to material possessions, and the invitation to mourn counters our addiction to fleeting good feelings, and if the desire for meekness obstructs our addiction to power, then it is being persecuted that stands in the way of our addictive attachment to seeking approval from others. The Beatitudes offer a freedom that allows you to find true happiness, not in material possessions, not in fleeting pleasure, not in the amount of influence you have over others, but in love. Happiness is living a life of love. One of the last things Jesus said before he was brutally murdered was, "Forgive them. They know not what they do." If that's not the best example of the fifth beatitude, I don't know what is. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall be shown mercy. I hope you can see that mercy is not an abstract theology. It's something you do. If you choose love, especially when you're being mistreated, then you are enacting cosmic justice and setting things right in the world. I hope that these conversations about the Beatitudes is helping you understand happiness, not just on an intellectual level, but on a deep soul level. It's my hope that you feel empowered by these teachings and that you know that you deserve happiness, true happiness. I really, truly want you to be happy and for you to recognize that you deserve happiness. Despite the challenges that you're facing in your life right now, whatever they may be, remember that you have the innate ability to find true fulfillment in love. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Oh, and I have a gift for you. It's a masterclass. It's called 3 Keys to Unlock Your Connection to the Divine. Normally, this is a $97 class, but you can grab it right now for free at mysticalspirituality.com. I poured all my love into making this masterclass for you. This class is going to help you listen to your intuition, trust your gut, and embody spiritual principles in your life. It's a 40-minute video class, and you get a beautiful workbook filled with journal prompts and practical exercises for being a better human. Go to mysticalspirituality.com and get it for free. I'm so excited to talk to you again next week, my friend. Meanwhile, enjoy the masterclass. I believe in you. You were born to be happy. Trust the mystic within you.